Alright, today guys, we're going to take a look at this Casio Oceanus. This is commonly referred to as the S100. The actual part number is a ocw-s100-1ajf. Wow, what a mouthful. Friend of the channel, Saji, sent this in for me to review. Hopefully I didn't butcher your name too bad. I apologize if I did. Or I can, I'm not going to say it again. I'm not going to try it again. Saji. Yeah, I'm going to do it again. Okay, I think I got it. So he sent in this watch. This is a watch that I've been eyeballing for a very long time. There's a few reviews, really good reviews actually on YouTube. Nick Shabazz has one and Arthur has one. I'll try to link those videos in the description because you can definitely check those out. They're really good. So we're just going to take a quick look at it. I'm not going to go over its functions. I will, because that could be a whole nother video, and I haven't played with that because this came preset to me, partly because it radio syncs, so you don't have to play around. Once you set it up, it's actually got a perpetual calendar, it's solar, and then it has the radio multi-band syncing system that Casio has, and then of course this is titanium also, and I'm not sure what grade titanium it is, but it does have a what they call a TI special coating on it. It's some sort of titanium carbide coating on it, which will help resist the scratches. You can see there's a little bit there on the clasp. Titanium's typically, a softer metal. I know there's different grades. I can't find out exactly what grade this is, but it seems to be fairly wear resistant. And I think that's across the board. Everybody that talks about this one, they're also having the same type of scenario where they're overall pretty tough. You have solid end links. Now that's a little bit different, a little weird though, and I'll cover that in a second. But you have the drilled lugs, which again is also kind of weird because you are not going to be changing the bracelet on this, because as you can see, there's like a little bit of wiggle here in the end link. You can see this middle link here, that's part of the watch. So you're not gonna, if you can see it in there. So I guess it's more of a proprietary type watch band. As far as I could tell, I couldn't find any options from Casio, like different silicone or rubber options they have that are form-fitting. But the bracelet on this is done so well, I think you're going to want to wear it on the bracelet. It matches the finishing and the titanium and the weight and everything, which is really light. This is currently sized for about a 7 1/8 inch wrist, maybe a touch heavier, and it weighs in at 82 grams. So for reference, I couldn't find anything that weighed about the same, but like a basic G-Shock square weighs in at around, I think, 56 grams. If you get into, like I did weigh, this is what I was wearing today, if you weigh the steel screwback G-Shock squares with the combi bracelet added on, this weighs in at like 117. I would have to probably guess that a standard square on a combi bracelet is a little bit closer, probably still even a little bit less, but I think at full weight with all the links in, it still only weighs in at about 91 or 92 grams, if I'm not mistaken. It has a simple just fold over with 2 button there, so, and it does have a few micro adjusts there. 2, I'm not sure if that's actually a third one, but it definitely has 2. Yeah, it has 2, because that third hole is actually something to do with the centerpiece. So it has 2 micro adjusts. So, but the links are not super massive, so I think you're going to be able to find a good fit regardless. Okay, thin. It definitely is thin. I measure with my caliper at 10.5 millimeter for the thickness. The lug to lug is 45.4 millimeter. So now some measurements for the diameter. It's a little confusing because some of the websites, when you look at it, it says 41.5 millimeter for the width. That's kind of true, and they claim that with the crown, but it is not 41.5 with the crown. I will give them this. It is 41 millimeter from this protrusion here all the way to the edge of the crown guards. So it is exactly 41.5 millimeter from there to there, but that's not including the crown. If you include the thickness of the crown, which just protrudes out just past it a little bit more, you're looking at about 43.4. If you can try to grab a measurement, it's a little difficult, but from here, which would be, basically removing this part. You know, if you could grab on a diagonal from there to there, which may or may not matter to you, it's only at like 39.7 is what I got. Again, not that it would matter. I'm pretty sure this is like 21 millimeter. It was hard to get a very good measurement on this. I think I measured, it's just under 21 millimeter. So, but you're not going to change that out. And then it does taper down to a nice 18 millimeter. So I think all those measurements equal to a very wearable, comfortable watch that you could live with on a day-to-day basis. There it is on my, 7 1/8, 7 1/4 inch wrist. And it doesn't have that crazy gray. I mean, you know, for the knowledgeable watch nut, I think you might be able to place this as titanium, but some of the polishing on it, the way it's done, I think you would have to really look at it. It doesn't have that standard gray type muted, titanium finish. So for the outward appearance, for the looks, I don't think you're going to spot that it's titanium right off the bat. So let's talk about the dial a little bit. Typically, get a little bit of lint off there. Typically with a solar watch, at least I can, and most people can, you can kind of see like a, where you can see how it, because it has to go through the face, like to the cell to get the charge. This one, it must be transparent, but if you look at it, it's kind of like just inky black. I mean, it is a really nicely done dial. And then for me, those blue edge, they're almost like an anodized blue edging on the indices with the lume in the center. The way they shimmer and hit the light and then reflect it all over, that blue on the black just plays really nice. You can see it on the logo above the printing of the Oceanus Casio. And then you have some polished sword hands with a same tone blue seconds hand with the white tip out on the end there. And then you have, again, when you set the time, it's done via time zone. So you see around the perimeter there, that's how you would set to your different time zones. It's basically, I don't know if you're familiar with some of the Casio modules. This is a, where does it say, 5235 module. I'm not sure if or what other watches it's used in. Typically, Casio will put that in other, watches, obviously. So it does have a sapphire domed crystal with anti-reflective coating on it. And this is a made in Japan model. So really well done. You can see the bracelet on the backside there. The push pins, which is very typical with titanium watches. You typically don't see screw links in titanium. It's just amazing how light this is, and then the finishing, it's very good. Seiko kind of did that with that Samurai too, and I'm sure other companies have done it. It's a little more involved getting a good finish on titanium and then keeping the scratches down. I like how they did the crystal, how it has that nice chamfer at the very top. You'll see if you can get it in the right light. You can see it up there on the top. You can see some of that blue carries through at the chamfer. Very nice coloring. And you will catch that in natural light. You'll look down occasionally and you'll catch that with, I don't know if it's the AR coating or what it is, but it catches that chamfer out on the edge of the, man, look at that. You can start getting some really cool color play. It just looks really good. So with the radio reception, you can see over here, you got the Y and the N. You guys see those? So you hit this little button right down here. It's going to swoop the seconds hand around, and it's pointed towards the Y for yes. That means it did receive a radio signal to reset the time last night. So then it goes back to timekeeping. Now, occasionally people will complain that you don't get the radio signal. I've had pretty good luck with that. If you keep it, accessible to the outside, then I don't think you're going to have a problem with that. Not outside, don't keep it outside, but like I just put it on my nightstand or something like that, and it'll usually catch that signal, usually without an issue. There's a little pusher there. That has to do with a bunch of setting up the perpetual calendar and everything, which is amazing. I'm sure it's a pain in the butt maybe to get it set up. I've never done it, but once you get it set up, well, I shouldn't say that. I have done it with some of these watches, but it's a lot easier with a digital because you just select the year and the month and day, and then it's good to go forever. So it's a little more different with this because you have the analog, but once you get it set up, it just works great. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but we're going to check out the Lume. Nice, very nice Lume. I will give you a little comparison against the Seiko Monster, just so, I don't know if that helps you out a little bit. But to the naked eye, it is a nice Lume. You know, it's no Seiko Monster, but I don't think we need it to be, and it does last. It holds up pretty good. You can see the intensity on the hands, and then the 12, 6, and 9 is a little bit brighter, and that is true to the naked eye as well. All right, so I went plenty long on this video. I don't really want to go any longer, but I don't know if you guys are looking for a watch of this size and this price range. This is about a $500 watch, and they kind of hold their value. Even on the used market, you're still going to get probably, if you're doing like a quick sale, or maybe it's beat up a little bit, you might touch around the $350 mark, but I highly doubt you're going to go lower than that. Typically, you're going to see, you know, 4 or just over 4 on the used market, and then on the, you know, well, this is Japan only, so like Shopping Japan, say Japan, I don't know who has it, whatever one. If you search around, obviously on eBay and everything like that, you're going to find them hovering around the 5 and plus 5 for a new model. So definitely a great option. I could probably show you it next to the Alpinist just for kicks, you know, compared to its another watch similar in size, but in an automatic, you know. And these were about the same price. I don't know what Alpinists are trending at right now, but similar price ranges. So, I mean, you could consider these, you know, alternatives, but the weight and feel and comfortable, and then the grab and go with this. It does say tough movement on the dial, and I've heard some people, you know, say yes, or they like it or they don't like it. Most people would probably say they don't like it. Maybe remove that and have something else there or nothing on there. Personally, I like it on there because typically a watch with this many features as this has, with the professional calendar and the solar and all that stuff, they could have killed this dial and put way too much information on there like they have done with some other models of Oceanus. This one is simple and tasteful, and I like the way it's done. I think they did a really good job with the color combination and size. It's difficult to find watches with these features at this price point in this size, so this is definitely a little bit of a, you know, niche, and I think it's a really good one. So I'll see you in the next video, guys.